This week, on a Moment of Grace, we focus on the topic, His Only Son. Ephesians 2, verse 8 to 9 says, For by grace ye are saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Sometimes we look at the actions of others and think, oh, they're so boastful, so pompous, full of themselves, and behave as if they're holier than thou. But look at the many things they have done wrong. We see everything that everyone has done wrong, but we fail to look at ourselves. Let's have a look at what Luke 6, verse 41 to 42 says. And why beholdest the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but perceivest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Either how canst thou say, Brother, let me pull out the mote that is in thine eye, when thou thyself beholdest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, cast out first the beam out of thine own eye, then thou shalt see clearly to pull out the mote that is in thy brother's eye. It is easy to see all the wrong in others and to cast judgment on them, but that's not our job. Also, stop comparing yourselves to others and saying, I'm not doing what he or she is doing, so I'm good. Now is the time for introspection and ensuring that your personal calling and election is sure. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you're tempted to point out the wrong that someone is doing, stop, take a moment, and check yourself to see if you are doing the same thing, or maybe something even worse. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't call sin by its right name and that we shouldn't call it out when we see it. But it does mean that we should be tactful and do so with love. But the onus is on us to reflect on the sacrifice made at Calvary. God sent His only Son to pay the penalty for sin. The price that He paid covers all the sins of everyone who has ever lived and will ever live. It is up to each individual to accept His free gift of salvation. Trying to judge everyone and stop trying to buy salvation by good works. Our righteousness is like filthy rags. It is just not acceptable. Only the robe of Christ's righteousness can take us to heaven. If you accept this robe from a heart of love and gratitude for the grace extended to you, good deeds will flow with pure motive of service to God and man. Prayer this week is that we will not be self-righteous or judgmental, but we will have pure motives and accept the free gift of salvation. Join us next week as we look at the topic of forgiveness.